Guys, it's Mike, and today I started out being a little, um, hey, it's Mike. It's sunny again, and it's warmed up a bit. It was kind of cold and miserable this morning, but it's better now. Anyway, out to do our little diabetes chat. And I'd like to know where the truth in advertising comes from. So often you will see advertisements claiming that their products cure diabetes. Well, they could cure one form of diabetes, but nothing has been proven to cure type 1 diabetes. Because the only thing that so far has been able to be found as the time of this taping is insulin. And insulin is not the cure. We have to say that pretty flat out right now, that insulin is not the cure. Insulin helps control blood sugars, but it will not cure it. And they can't be pulled up saying that it's lying, because they really aren't lying. But people saying are looking out there, if they're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and even type 1, they're looking out there to find any cure. And having any cure doesn't work. And even for people with type 2, a lot of it is acetaminophen, diet pill formulas, and that's all they really are. So, people with type 2, you know what the magical cure could be, and it's not the solve-all, is if you lose weight. Now, as we talked in an earlier video, is your body in type 2, your body does not produce enough insulin to meet your needs. So if you lose some of your pounds, you will cure, or you won't be needing to take medications. But again, you could switch around at the end. You put on extra weight, your body is going to have to revert to wanting insulin. So people who have type 2, these cure-alls aren't really any cure-alls, and you need to be certain of what you're spending your money for. People who have type 2 diabetes can cure it in some situations. But people with type 1s are always magically looking for the cure. In fact, for myself, when I was diagnosed, I kept saying all these cure, and they've just constantly be coming. But you know what? If you take them and don't take your insulin, you're going to end up in the hospital. Now, for us brittle diabetics, most of us have heard from our doctors that not to do so much. in, you know, parts of taking extra drugs to cure it. But usually, brittle diabetes is associated with type 2. No, I don't think that's right. Brittle diabetes is associated with type 1. I knew what I was saying as I said it, but the ups and down swings usually comes for some people with insulin. And what are the symptoms of brittle diabetes? Well, the symptoms of brittle diabetes are pretty much the same for any type 1 diabetic. And that would be, they can start off being, high, and your body is craving insulin, so it is drinking water, and you're peeing it out just the same as you would be. The only difference is, next thing you know is your body is trying to want sugar because it's low. And it's pretty much the roller coaster effect. If you don't try to do everything you can, then you know what? You're just gonna die. Now, brittle diabetes, I know personally, the first time I get a new doctor, it's pretty much, if you did XYZ, things would be better. Well, the problem is, I've tried an awful lot of these things, and XYZ doesn't work, or whatever, I keep saying to my care team is we have to think out of the box. Things that won't necessarily work for a traditional diabetic may work for me. Now, an example of this would be when I kept, needing to go low, and things just weren't doing right for me. And I would, try sugar, try doing the code, and a lot of times my blood sugars keep going down low. So we've tried different types of simple sugar, and that seems to work. You try a simple sugar, and then if that doesn't work, you try a different simple sugar, and things can clear it. A lot of times it's something as simple as starting off with a can of Coke. Now, eating, yes, I have eaten a lot. My doctor says I gained 20 kilograms last time I was in the hospital because I constantly had to keep eating. They kept feeding me, and they get upset. Oh, your blood sugar's low. Here, you've got to eat. And there are times when you say, I'm sorry, I can't. I am stuffed. But there, oh, you got to eat. And they get really upset over when you say, you can't eat. And a lot of this comes from years of treating, I don't want to say, we don't say normal diabetics with my team, but we say with average diabetics. Because yes, there's some time where eating, you fill up, and, there were times it was just after dinner, and I dropped low. But, oh no, here it is. You have to eat again. Oh, you have to eat again. And I don't think that is necessarily the total answer. People with brittle diabetes, there are, I hate to say a class, because a class doesn't necessarily represent people, because we went through a class system in India for years. And so, different stages. I mean, there's diabetes. And then we're all broken off into type 1 or type 2. Well, type 2 is pretty much most people who have type 2, are all happy. And type 1 diabetics, there are your average diabetic, and your average diabetic is the one who takes insulin, and insulin does what it's supposed to do. And, they have some days that are high and some days that are low. But that's pretty much all of it. They have the second one, which is brittle. And brittle diabetic is you get this. You get the swings. 1 minute you're high, 1 minute you're low. The only saving grace is a lot of times, brittle diabetics are sort of misdiagnosed. And, for years, I would go through life and hearing, well, if you didn't cheat, you wouldn't have these problems. Well, a lot of times I wasn't cheating. Yes, being a teenager, yes, I did cheat now and again. However, you just, if you stop cheating, and I was told by my parents that, I was told by the doctors this, and it isn't necessarily the person's fault. If you are playing around with your diabetes, well, that's your issues. But I did not play with my diabetes. The last one is severe brittle, where a normal course of medicine, as it stands now, I'm sorry, I'm rolling and hitting all the, does not solve things. And, you have to be leery. Now, there's only like 2%, and that's what I found myself in. I'm a severe brittle diabetic. 2% of all diabetics. Okay, so don't be pulled in by these ads, because they don't do anything. And I want to say this again to pretty well the young ladies, is, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but it's worth repeating. Don't go out and stop taking your insulin because you feel, oh well, I'm going to lose weight. Because, you may lose weight, but you're not going to look good. you're going to get sick. You're playing with your health. And face it, your body's the only one you have. So take care of yourself. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.